Hello everyone, Oscar Worthy here, coming today talking to you about this article. Ben Stiller asserts Hollywood is meritocratic, rejects claims of Hollywood nepotism in Twitter debate with Blacklist founder Franklin Leonard. If you don't know what the Blacklist is a yearly script competition, not a competition, but they come out and say which scripts are the best of the year. So Franklin Leonard is well known, and his Blacklist organization finds a lot of great scripts, and a lot of them are eventually produced. Okay, so here is Ben Stiller, whose father was famous in Hollywood as well. So who knows? Did he get a leg up because his father was in the business? I mean, Ben Stiller, he is definitely funny. I think so myself. But also, having a famous father could have helped a lot. Okay, so Franklin Leonard took to Twitter on Tuesday night to decry a recent film casting. Ben Stiller shot back in a spirited conversation about whether people got Hollywood gigs on the basis of their abilities or if nepotism played a role. The Blacklist founder commented on a casting story Deadline broke about Harper Penn, son of Academy Award-winning actor Sean Penn, signing on to star in a short film from Destry, Spielberg, and Owen King, also children of Hollywood royalty, director Steven Spielberg and author Stephen King respectively. So yes, they do get a lot more opportunities, and opportunities turns into bigger and better things. That's all you need, is that one breakout role, that one thing to break the ice, and you could possibly parlay that into something greater. So they do have a lot of benefit knowing all of these or having these famous people as family and friends, because they can give them their start, whereas just the average person like Oscar Worthy can't get their start because Oscar Worthy is not friends with all these Hollywood power players. Okay, so here we go. Leonard posted bluntly, "Hollywood's a meritocracy, right?" Accompanying the text was a photo split of a successful Hollywood artist's progeny. Article goes on to say, though Leonard walked his comments back a bit by admitting, in fairness, this is apparently a short film. Okay. Ben Stiller, son of the late comedic actors Jerry Stiller, but even though it is a short film, that is still a start in the industry. Okay, so Ben Stiller, son of the late comedic actors Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira, shot back too easy at Franklin Leonard. People working, creating, everyone has their path. Wish them all the best. Yes, but you have to admit, once you get that first break, it's a lot easier, right? And how do you get your first break? Some people never do. Some talented people, such as Oscar Worthy, never get that first break. Okay, so the article continues. A recent UCLA report showed that though there are vast improvements in diversity in front of the camera, the same story does not exist on the other side of the lens. UCLA Dean of Social Sciences Darnell Hunt said, "There has not been the same level of progress behind the camera. Most notably in the executive suite, there has been very little change since we began compiling data 5 years ago. That's very telling, particularly in light of our current racial reckoning. I do wish the filmmakers well without fail, but I also think it's important that we acknowledge these paths," Leonard said. Stiller responded, "Yes, just speaking from experience, I don't know any of them. I would bet they all have faced challenges different than those with no access to the industry. Showbiz, as we all know, is pretty rough and ultimately a meritocracy." I don't believe it, because all the talent that Oscar Worthy has, and he hasn't got his big break yet. So no, until Oscar Worthy gets his break, then I will not believe it. So here we go. Franklin soundly refuted any claim that one's entrance into Hollywood's highest levels are based on one's ability. Leonard asked if that was the case. How do you explain the utter lack of diversity behind the camera? Lack of merit? Though Stiller conceded diversity is still a large problem, the Tropic Thunder star asserted untalented people don't really last if they get a break because of who they are or know or are related to. But many times they don't get a break. That's the thing. So Stiller's comments led Leonard to double down on his take and re-explain the stats. Fundamentally disagree, and again, numbers don't lie. Leonard said, based only on the exclusion of other folks, statistically, roughly speaking, 1/3 of the industry has their job not because of merit, but because of other factors. Who they know, colonial legacy, sexism, whatever. Leonard cheekily added, we both know plenty of unqualified people who manage to stay employed for reasons other than their talent, though both of us have enough decorum not to name names. So there you go. Insiders know there's plenty of people without talent in the industry who have jobs and who got their start because of who they know or whatever. So in a separate reply thread, Leonard expressed his continued belief that successful players in Hollywood are blind to their own circumstances. Leonard wrote, Hollywood folk tend to believe that it's a pure meritocracy and their success is an indication of their merit alone. Oh my goodness. So Stiller did not take the offhand remark kindly and fired back, wow, really? I totally owe a huge debt to my folks and in no way have said I didn't. Why make broad generalizations? Your argument about diversity is very sound and I agreed with it. After a few exchanges, Leonard wanted to lay the argument to rest and have them agree to the central tenet of the discussion. Hollywood's lack of diversity behind the cameras related to how familial relationships in the industry dictate job opportunity. Stiller's last comment seemed to express some concession to Leonard's main point that Hollywood remains a club of insiders. Destry Spielberg responded to both Stiller and Leonard in a now-deleted tweet. I am just a young aspiring female filmmaker who admires the art of cinema. People can argue nepotism, but I know deep down that I worked hard to get where I am, and it wasn't easy. Beyond proud of this film and proud of the team it took to make it. But there are many people who work just as hard or twice as hard and never get their start. Okay, that's the difference. Getting their start. That makes all the difference, and it's a lot easier for people, family, friends to get their start than it is for people like Oscar Worthy, who deserve a shot at the big screen, people. She later clarified on her page, I acknowledge that I was born with privilege. I own that through and through. I make it my mission to bring new talent into the industry and give opportunities to artists of all backgrounds. No one should be left out because of the connections they don't have. So a lot of these people are delusional and think that it's only their hard work that got them to where they were, but they don't understand that getting their start is a big thing. Okay, Stiller and Leonard debate eventually made it over to The View on Thursday, where each co-host gave their own take on the situation. Stiller's remarks did not go over well online, where users expressed discontent for Stiller's opinions. Ben Stiller criticized for nepotism remarks. The children of Hollywood A-listers such as Steven Spielberg and Sean Penn are joining forces for a new short film that critics are calling the picture of... Okay, concluding the entire discussion, Leonard tweeted a final thread where he posed the same question that started this inquiry and his well wishes for any creative endeavors. I say again, if you believe it's meritocracy, explain Hollywood's utter lack of diversity behind the camera. There you go. I'm entirely confident that I'm rooting for everyone who makes a movie or television show to make something spectacular because, well, obviously, I also just happen to know. There you go, people. There you go. Oscar Worthy may never get his start because he does not know anybody. Okay? And then I'm sure there are plenty of comments, but I will not go through them. But thank you again for watching, and take care, make some good content, be creative, and Oscar Worthy out.